In the year 1970, the NHL introduced the new Canadian team, the Vancouver Canucks. And 48 years later, the only thing the Vancouver Canucks have to show for their almost half a century years of work, they have 3 Stanley Cup Finals appearances. One in 1982 against the Dynasty New York Islanders, and the 2 most recent in 1994, where they lost in Game 7 to the New York Rangers, and a riot preceded that. And then in 2011, their most recent postseason Stanley Cup final appearance, they lost to the Boston Bruins in a heartbreaking Game 7. That also resulted in another riot. I'm sure you can get all the footage on YouTube. I know I've had my fair share. So, if you're listening to this, you're watching this video. Surprising, you have eyes. You can see this, and you can see who I have on the screen there, the Vancouver Canucks. The Vancouver Canucks have been a perennial disappointment.
What? What the fuck?
Disappoint what? Owen, can you speak? Owen, you have to, come on, brain. Perennial disappointments, that's the word I was going for. Perennial meaning a long time, and 48 years is so long. Do you remember 48 years ago? Because I don't. I wasn't alive. My dad was barely alive, so let's hop right into this. So, this is episode 0. This is what I'm going to title it. This is just an introduction to the GM mode. I haven't played a GM mode in forever. This is franchise mode. Welcome to franchise mode. This is my first franchise mode on this channel, and I hope you're enjoying yourself. Your stay here. Your stay here? I don't even think that's a thing. Do you stay here? You'll probably leave this video anytime soon. I'm waiting for this to load. I've tried this so many times already, this introduction, so this is the best you're getting, okay? Okay. And here we go, the beginning of preseason, the Vancouver Canucks heading into the 2017-2018 season. Jim Benning, the general manager, poof, out of here with Jim Benning. Time for a new reign, a new captain to this franchise. I will lead the Vancouver Canucks to glory. Owen Beatty will lead them to their first Stanley Cup. Now, this video, I'm just going to be looking at rosters because I can, because I want to sort some things out, because I can, okay? Okie doodle. So, as you can see, both Sedins are playing on this roster. And my reason to that is because I wanted to let them play out the season. And at the end of this season, I am not going to re-sign either Sedin. They both have 1 year left at $7 million. Oh, I'm sure that looked like a good contract when they signed it, but oh my god. Now, most of you probably know, if you're an NHL fan, you should know this, that both Daniel and Henrik retired at the end of the 2017-2018 season. This is the beginning of the season, and I always see them drop to free agency in year 1 and then retire separately. I want this to be their swan song, riding into the sunset with Vancouver. I know this is not going to be a good season at all. Like, this is going to be a really bad season. And you know what? It's okay, because the Vancouver Canucks really need to rebuild. And if I'm not mistaken, they really haven't tried to rebuild with, Louis Eriksson, that guy. How many? Oh my. I didn't think it was that much, Vancouver. You're paying him that much? That's a pretty bad contract. Oh my god. Is this year 2 of his contract, or is this year 2? Oh my. Well, that's a contract I'm probably going to trade eventually. So, line 1, Sven Barchi, 24-year-old. His contract is up at the end of the year. He'll probably want around 3, 4, which we'll probably have the space for that. And he's at the end of his development, so... I mean, I could keep him around. Yeah, I could. I've seen him grow to 85, potentially, or sit at 82. And he's... And when I've played franchise mode before, he puts up decent points. Oh, he's... Really, I didn't know he was Swiss. That's funny. I didn't know that. He's Swiss. He's from Switzerland. Okay, thank God. The little plus sign? Yeah. The Swiss Superman, Sven Barchi. And then in the center, possibly future captain Bo Horvat, who they signed him to a 6-year extension. That's a steal of a contract. Great. I can't remember how well his season was this year, because as I'm recording this, Toronto just lost Game 7 against Boston. No, this is not 2013. This is... Wait. Was it 2013? Oh, it was 2013. I'm sorry, Leafs fans, if any of you are watching. So, and then Brock, the Beast, Besser. Holy hell. You might be wondering, why is his overall so high? High elite? I think he's a high elite, but I don't think he's a franchise player. I think medium elite was too low for a caliber player like him. As you see there, his wrist shot accuracy... Accurate? Stop! Right. Stop! Accuracy is at 96 out of 100, so, and his offensive awareness is 95, so he's gonna put up some points. But I made him an overall lower than Matt Barzal for the Islanders, because I thought, you know, those are the 2 best rookies in the league, but I think they're superstar quality right now, just like Matthews and Laine were last year. I'm not comparing each other. Just continue here. I've already discussed Louis Eriksson. That's a contract I'm definitely gonna move. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what his potential's like. I'll check that in a minute. And I've already discussed Daniel and Henrik Sedin. They'll be getting second line time. I think that makes sense for them, but I also don't want to split them up. And then Brendan Leipsic over here in Vancouver. Did Vegas trade him to Vancouver? I mean, yeah, it's not a bad 3rd or 4th liner if he can get his defensive stats up. I mean, his physical, I mean, AHL forward in the future once I get this. Once I get drafting. And then there's Sam Gagner, which for the Canucks at the beginning of this season I didn't think made sense because, well, for almost that's $3.15 million for 3 years. I know he had a great season last year, 50 points with Columbus, but if you're going to rebuild, Jim Benning, you got to do it right. And you know what? Here's the savior, Jake the Snake Virtanen. He has a pretty good I don't think... Did I edit him at all? I might have edited him. Edited? That's a weird word, isn't it? Oh, there goes the house, making some sounds. I'm sorry about that. Oh my god. Somebody flushed the toilet. Oh my god, the whole house is coming down. Ah, better. So, Jake Virtanen, 79 overall, 21 years of age, right-handed, so he could be a good third, second liner playing penalty kill, get those defensive stats up, because his physical is at 4.5 stars, so that's quite good. I'm hoping to see him succeed there. And then the fourth line, Brennan Gaunce, who 23 years of age at a high bottom six, who is his role as a fourth line forward. I'm going to keep him up here. Honestly, he could probably grow to like a very low 80s maybe if he stays good or has good morals, or is that, what do you call that? Moral? Okay. And then Brandon Sutter there on the fourth line, who says he's a third line checker, checking forward, and no, I'm just going to keep him there on the fourth, make him play some penalty kill. And that is one contract I am definitely going to try to trade. I might have to hold up some salary, retain some salary there. Oh, yeesh. When did they sign that contract? Holy hell. And there's Derek Dorsett, who also retired due to injury at the beginning of the season for Vancouver. I just kept him here. You know what? I'm going to be serious. I totally forgot about Derek Dorsett. I just totally forgot. I'm sorry, Vancouver. And then the defensive core is awful. Ben Hutton, who can probably grow a bit more. And then Christopher Tanev, who I might keep around. He's only 27, and I do like that contract. But if I'm going to rebuild, I have to look at trading some of these players. And one of those players I'm thinking about are Alexander Edler. Alexander Edler is 31, and I've heard some harsh opinions about him in Vancouver, from Vancouver fans. So he's possible trade bait. And then there's Troy Stetcher. I almost said Stretcher. Please don't get injured. Oh, right. I'm going to say that first. I turned off injuries because I hate dealing with that, but I will turn them back on when we make the playoffs eventually. So he's a top six defenseman playing fourth or second line defenseman pairing. 1 year left. He could grow a bit more. He's 23. I'd hope to see him grow a bit. But there's some players that have plenty of years left to grow and never are always stunted by something. Stunted? Yeah. And then there's Derek Pouliot, who I hope grows a bit more. He's not a bad six-line defenseman. And there's also another player that they signed with Sam Gagner, $3 million for 2 years. Michael Delzato, hoping to get back to where he was in 2015, where he put up some points, and then 2012. He's not a bad third pair defenseman. It's just, wow, the defense, of course, sucks. And then you have Markstrom and Nielsen. Not much you can say about that. Jakob Markstrom. Yeah, I guess he'll be the scapegoat this year. And then the scratch players, you have Nick Dowd, Marcus Granlund, and Nikolai Kuldobin, who I'll probably put in the AHL, so give him some first line AHL time, which makes sense for him because he has a bunch of potential. I just have never seen him grow in franchise mode. And here I'm going to look at players that are on the roster. I just didn't want to go into the AHL because there'd be missing a few players. So, Elias Peterson, who I will sign automatically to a contract. He's two-way forward. I don't know. I might change that because he, in the SHL this year, one of the best SHL seasons of all time. If you want to go check that out, I'd highly recommend. Some of his highlights are incredible. Steele, 5th overall. Vancouver fans complain that they didn't win the draft or that they moved down. I think you stole a pick there in Elias Peterson. And then you have Ole Julevi, who is a Finn. I thought he was a Swede. Oh, my mistake. Well, you got the ultimate Swede, and then you got the fantastic Finn. You have the super Swede and fantastic Finn. And then there's Adam Gaudette, who I've been thinking about lately. I know he had a great NCAA season, but here's my... I want to make this GM mode challenging for myself, because in year 1, 2, I usually rebuild with a team, and then I have a bunch of picks. And I originally had him at a high top 6, and in GM modes past, I've had him at a medium elite. And I think he's similar to like a Colin White type of player. Like, I feel he can grow like Colin White. Colin White is a stud for Ottawa in franchise mode. And then there's Cole Lind, who nobody has talked about since the beginning of the season. He's had a fantastic season with the Kelowna Rockets. I believe he's there in Kelowna. Steele, he's a guy that I always pick up in NHL 17. He was great. Steele in the second round. I bumped him up. And there's Jonathan Dahlin. Not Dahlin. Dahlin. Reminds me of the Martin Erat for Philip Forsberg, another Swede. It was Alex Burrows to Ottawa for Jonathan Dahlin, and I bumped him up. He was down at like a 69, so nice. 73 makes sense. Him and Adam Gaudette are really good, and Jonathan Dahlin is quite a good player. His stats are very good there. He plays in... He plays in a European league. I'm just blanking on which team it is. And Nikolai Goudobin. And then it starts to fade off. There aren't any super prospects other than Peterson and Ulevi, excluding Cole. But it's good. There's a bunch of players there that are going to be great second, third liners, potentially first. But as I keep looking here, they do not have a lot of defensive prospects. I mean, here you have Tyler Mote, who, yeah, whatever. I mean, he probably won't grow much higher than that. Here is Johan Goldovich. Sorry, I can't pronounce that. And then it just drops off. There are no defensive prospects here. So I'm going to tank this team. I'm going to make it plummet into the Earth's core. I'm going to try my best to win not Jonathan Dahlin, not you, Jonathan Dahlin. Rasmus Dahlin. Dahlin, yes. I'm going to tank this team. But you don't have to worry about the future of the goaltending, because we have two great goaltenders here. One elite potential who can already be a backup, but I'm going to start him in the AHL. Put a good team around him in the AHL, so get him some experience. And then you have Michael DiPietro, who I bumped up a bit. He's been playing great in the CHL. He's been fantastic. I think he was just invited to the World Juniors for Team Canada, some tournament. And that is it. I mean, we don't have any picks. I'm going to try to... We're missing our fourth. So that sucks. I'm definitely going to trade for some picks. And who do we got here in free agents? We have... I mean, we're not going to sign... I mean, we might sign Jared... Is his name Jared? It is! Jared Cowan. I remember when he had, like, a great potential in NHL. 16. Well, that was a long time ago. Jeez, look how much the game has changed. I might sign some guys for the AHL to help out there. This guy, Antti Sumela. Yes. I'm probably going to sign him. Samuelson. Ekman Larson. Is he... Is he Oliver Ekman-Larsson's brother? Maybe? And then Golda. What's his first name? Dennis Golda. So, there are plenty of changes that are going to be happening in Vancouver. The Sedins are going to be removed from Vancouver. Not removed, they're going to be let go at the end of this season. If they retire, they retire. But if they decide to leave, they leave into free agency, because there is no way I'm going to trade. If I'm going to trade them, I'm going to trade them together. I'll put them on the block. Do I put them on the block? If they were to be traded, they would be traded together. But I'm not looking that way right now. So here's the captaincies. So that's basically it for episode 0. In episode 1, this is just an analysis of what I'm going to do with Vancouver. In the next episode, we'll be simming probably to the trade deadline, maybe the entire season. And there is the guy free falling for Dahlin. If you want notifications, go to my Twitter at 3thumbsupsports. That's my Twitter handle. And then that's where you'll get all the notifications for future episodes and information about this channel.